To support this podcast, go to positivesarcasm.com/donate. Any amount is appreciated. Once again, positivesarcasm.com/donate. Thank you and enjoy the program. No, I probably had COVID like 74 times. I have no clue, and I don't care.
Everybody liked Blanche. Because Blanche was a pig who took it in the ass.
Did you smell your poop? Did you learn anything? Did you read about the dog story?
Why the f*** is my ex-girlfriend, who I despise, calling me?
A lot to blame on the news. It's a lot to blame on Anthony Fauci, that Italian leprechaun.
Almost like it never existed, but it fucking did. So do me a favor, go yourself.
Jay here, positivesarcasm.com, recorded here from the Spare Parts Studio, recorded by New Hampshire's beautiful Seacoast. Find me on Instagram at @positive_sarcasm, Facebook.com/POS_sarcasm, Gab, Minds, and Wisdom at Positive Sarcasm. Email me directly, positivesarcasm@outlook.com, or you can go directly to my website, positivesarcasm.com, click on the contact page. And also, of course, you can always support this podcast by going to positivesarcasm.com/donate. Any amount is appreciated. Let's get right to it. I covered this article a long time ago about a lawsuit against Subway, claiming that their tuna wasn't actually tuna. But this has once again resurfaced, and as a former employee, very young, back in like 2000, it was like one of my first jobs working for Subway, a California judge ruled Monday that a lawsuit against Subway over its alleged artificial tuna can proceed. Judge Don Tiger of the U.S. District Court for Northern District of California ruled that Subway can be sued over its claims that the tuna sandwich contains 100% tuna. This is the latest development in Karen, and 2121 lawsuit about the sandwich maker, in which they allege the tuna is not real. A previous complaint over the same issue from those two clients was dismissed last October. UCLA marine biologist Paul Barber performed tests on the sandwiches and found that they partially or wholly lack tuna as an ingredient, instead containing other fish species, animal products, or miscellaneous products aside from the tuna. Well, it's a tuna sandwich. It has other miscellaneous products: mayonnaise, which contains oak, which contains egg yolk, soybean oil, vinegar, salt, blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, you have lettuce, tomato in there. And then you have bread. The bread's not made out of tuna. The bread's made out of wheat. UCLA, but New York Times also commissioned a test that did not detect tuna in a DNA sample. Well, it's also cooked tuna. Quote, Subway serves 100% tuna. We are disappointed that the court felt it couldn't dismiss the plaintiff's reckless and improper lawsuit at this stage, a Subway rep said in a statement. However, we are confident that the Subway will prevail when the court has an opportunity to consider all the evidence. As a result of the allegations, Subway launched a website dedicated to proving its tuna is real. There, the restaurant disputes that the New York Times DNA test of the tuna, attributing to the result of the fact that cooked tuna doesn't necessarily have the fish's original DNA. The site makes no mention of Barber's tests. The truth is, Subway uses wild-caught skipjack tuna regulated by the Food and Drug Administration. The website reads, a favorite among sub lovers, our tuna is and always has been 100% premium, real, and high quality. A Subway representative suggested that any product found in its tuna that is not real could be tuna result with cross-contamination. That's highly possible. Remember, I worked there when I was a kid, like I was like 15 years old, and I actually mixed the tuna myself. And it's basically tuna and a shitload of mayonnaise. So you basically rip open this giant can of tuna, you throw it in this giant metal bowl, and then you have this giant tub of mayonnaise. But it was awesome. And you just open that thing up and you just go, and you dump all that friggin' mayonnaise in there, and then you just mix it together, and then you throw it in a container, and you wrap it, and you put it in the fridge. That was it. The tuna was super simple, and tuna is generally inexpensive, like canned tuna. So it's an easy go-to. So from my experience, and this was over 20 years ago, my experience, it was 100% tuna. It wasn't sway, it wasn't tilapia, it wasn't pollock, it wasn't a mixed bag. It was canned tuna fish. So and it's a California judge, maybe, I don't know, but to me, this thing sounds like bullshit, unless Subway has changed some of the things that they've done in the past 20 years, which is possible, and also given their recent struggles with the fact that they're spokesperson was a disgusting kiddie porn advocate, that it's hard for Subway places to find help, so they're closing down a lot of restaurants. And there's also a lot of competition from Moe's sandwiches, from Jersey Mike's, other distributors, local restaurants. They can't really find the help, so Subway's been struggling. But their food, to me, has always been good. They're just easy to make fun of. But I've always loved their food. I mean, that's an awesome go-to for me. So I'm not really sure where this is going to go, but I know Subway's having a rough go of it. If I had to make a choice between Subway and Taco Bell, I would take Subway all day long. I could actually probably live my life on Subway. I think the only thing that really didn't look like it was super legitimate to me was maybe like some of their chicken sandwiches. But that's about it. Everything else looked really good. Staring at my buddy right now, Chase. He's sleeping on the thingy over there. Who's a good boy? Is Chase a good boy? So, yeah, there is that. There was a website that Subway launched to be like, yo, fuck you. We got real tuna. There it is. Subway tuna is real tuna. That's right. The truth is Subway uses wild-caught skipjack tuna regulated by the Food and Drug Administration, a favorite among sub lovers. Our tuna is and has always been high-quality, premium, and 100% real. Okay, let me see here. Okay. I'm going to go through this because if they got enough balls to throw this website up and be like, yo, our shit's real, then it happens to be 100% real. Normally a person's guilty when they don't do stuff like this. And apparently they're not settling out of court. They're apparently going to be like, we're going to go the distance here. We know there's been a lot of talk on this topic, including misinformation generated in the media. There's that word again. So we created this page to set forth the facts and clarify any misunderstandings. Tuna fact check. The New York Times reported Subway premium fan favorite tuna wasn't actually tuna. The New York Times. Truth. Not true. What actually happened is that the New York Times commissioned a test that couldn't detect tuna in their DNA sample. According to scientific experts, this is not unusual when testing cooked tuna, and it absolutely doesn't mean that the sample that was tested contains zero tuna. The New York Times test results only showed that the type of DNA test by the unnamed lab wasn't reliable way of determining whether the sample was tuna or not. If the test had confirmed the existence of protein other than tuna, questions could have been raised. However, their non-detect conclusion really just means that the test was inadequate in determining what the protein was. In other words, it was a problem with the test, not the tuna. Still not convinced? Check out USA Today's independent fact check of the New York Times conclusion, which found it lacked important context about the limitations of DNA testing of denatured proteins and some additional information. From food DNA testing, applied food technologies about why DNA testing isn't always conclusive. In testing processed tuna, given the cooking and packaging process breaks down the DNA fragments. The challenge of accurately testing processed tuna DNA has been known for a while and even studied by scientists. Additionally, the reckless complaint that spurred this misinformation was rightfully dismissed by the court on October 7, 2021. The plaintiffs then filed another meritless amended complaint, which Subway moved to dismiss. On July 7, 2022, the court elected to allow the complaint to survive even when the claims are unsupportable as a matter of fact or in law. While the court's ruling is disappointing, we look forward to proving our tuna is once and for all. Our tuna is tuna once and for all. There is no question that the lawsuit is completely meritless, and the evidence that will bear that out. Our position has not changed. We serve 100% real wild-caught tuna. Tuna Q&A. Has anyone ever tested Subway's tuna? Yes, we test our tuna regularly to ensure it meets Subway's stringent quality and safety requirements. And of course, we have to comply with FDA regulations, but you don't have to take our word for it. Applied Food Tech is one of the only labs in the country with the ability to test broken down fish DNA, which makes it more accurate in testing processed tuna. AFT conducted more than 50 individual tests on 150 pounds of Subway tuna for Inside Edition and confirmed yellowfin and or skipjack in every sample. Those are good tunas, bro. What requirements? Process and selling of tuna is highly regulated. Yup. FDA has strict rules to follow. In addition, the import monitoring programs require complete traceability of all tuna from the time catch through processing into finished goods and required by federal law. What are the quality control mechanisms that are in place to ensure 100%? Fishery certificate of origin, captain's statement including boat's captain's name and verification of catch method traceability, and catch certificate lists the name of the boat that caught the fish and each volume of species harvested on that ship in metric tons. Subway's tuna is also certified dolphin safe and kosher. Sign me up. The status of the lawsuit that started it, the court dismissed the plaintiff's reckless one on October 7th. They filed another one in July, so just a few days ago. Court elected to allow the complaint to survive. There's no question that the lawsuit is completely meritless, and the evidence will bear that out. Our position has not changed. We serve 100% real wild-caught tuna. What about the allegation that Subway tuna is processed beyond recognition, is flake tuna, or contain other kinds of fish proteins? FDA-regulated Subway importers use only 100% wild-caught tuna from whole, round, twice-cleaned, skipjack tuna loins. Reclaimed meat and flake are strictly prohibited by our standards. The tuna that Subway guests enjoy is not processed any differently than canned or pouched tuna found in the average supermarket. It's also important to note that the word flake can be used in different contexts when it comes to tuna, and this misunderstanding is a matter of semantics. Flaked tuna is not the same as tuna flake. Subway's tuna product is listed as flake tuna in brine on its labels to describe the preparation of the tuna, specifically the piece size and texture. It may display differently on import records where it appears to be written in shorthand. Subway specifically prohibits the use of any tuna flake, byproduct, or remnants in its tuna. What else do they got here? Sourcing, Janus Brands and Rima Food Group. Thailand, the Philippines, and Indonesia. Suppliers' facilities are only allowed to accept whole frozen fish, which comes from a statement from each fishing boat. Supplier facility tuna undergoes rigorous quality safety control testing. Tuna is then thawed, washed, inspected, base sorted. After washing pre-cooking, the tuna is then cut and double cleaned before being cooked and packaged for distribution. Subway franchisees receive their tuna sealed in pouches. Oh, it's pouches now. Quality control, we used to get them in cans. Made fresh for you. Made fresh. Mix the tuna before adding the sandwich to the line. Subway sandwich artists mix the tuna with mayonnaise, like I did. A fan favorite, real tuna. They like it with their choice of veggies, freshly made sandwich, wrap, or salad. Nice. I could totally go for a Subway sandwich right now. It is good. I have one nearby, but it's actually like closed for the summer, which okay. It's good. I remember baking that bread, like you make the dough rise every morning and then cooking it. Oh, so freaking good. So freaking good. So I actually hope that Subway prevails in this, and their other sandwiches were good too. Like their turkey club was pretty good. The roast beef sandwich was okay, nothing to write home about. Meatball sub was good. They had like a chicken club sandwich with bacon in it. That was fucking delicious. Italian BMT, still a banger in my eyes. I mean, if you're looking for an Italian sandwich, is Subway your go-to? No, but still, it's not bad. You can load that shit right up, and it's relatively inexpensive too. If you need like a meal with a bunch of like nutrient-dense stuff in it, absolutely. Also, there's like the meatball sub, like I said, and they got a couple specialties. The chicken, I don't know. The chicken's a little weird. That's definitely very rib meat. A lot of rib meat. So there is that to consider. The cookies, delicious, by the way. So, and, oh man, I really should. Like, let me go to their rewards and deals. Let me see here. Let me see what they got going on right now. Earn rewards in your Subway you crave. Subway My Rewards. 3x tokens during your first week of membership, which means earn, how it works. $1 spent equals 4 tokens. Every 200 tokens earns you a $2 reward to redeem on your next Subway purchase, plus exclusive bonus offers, 0 delivery fee. Buy a foot long, get a 6-inch. Use promo code SERIES. You can get catering. Ooh, yum, 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 yum. Yeah. I should sign up for a rewards program with Subway. I mean, why not? That fucking food's delicious. I really should look into that. So that is the one thing that's going on right now. I wanted to bring that up because I've discussed this several times in the past regarding Subway and their lawsuits. And you know me, I'm a big fan of this website, Top Class Action Lawsuits, but I have yet to see really anything about Subway on there. Ooh, this is interesting. Check this out. This just popped up actually on Top Class Action Lawsuits. See, white pages, personal information, and ads. Let me see if this has anything on it here. White Pages has reached a settlement with residents of Illinois. Nope, I don't care about that one. This one is interesting. Facebook Internet Tracking Litigation, $90 class action lawsuit. Facebook, known as Meta Platforms, agreed to pay $90 million to resolve claims alleging unlawful user tracking on non-Facebook websites. The settlement benefits people who were Facebook users between April of 2010 and September 26, 2011. Inclusive and visited non-Facebook websites that displayed the Facebook like button. Facebook is a social media platform used by billions. People are allegedly that it tracked its user activity through the like buttons on non-Facebook websites. This button allegedly allowed Facebook to use cookies to identify a user on an external website that used the Facebook like plugin. Plaintiffs contend that even if the user didn't interact with this plugin, Facebook was able to track his or her activity across the web. Plaintiffs' complaint that in this lawsuit alleges that when Facebook session and tracking cookies link the URLs to specific persons, anonymity disappears. The complaint also asserts that Facebook can link the web browsing of more than 1 billion people to their actual identities. The consolidated class action argues that users had their privacy rights violated by such conduct. And complaints include claims under the Federal Wiretap Act. Facebook does not admit to wrongdoing and denies that it violated any law, but it has, sorry, my fucking teeth, or lack thereof still, has agreed to pay $90 million to settle litigation to avoid costs and risks associated with continuing the case. Under the terms of the settlement, a $90 million settlement fund will be distributed to settlement class members who submit approvement claims. Each authorized claimant will be entitled to receive an equal share of the settlement fund. And exact payment amounts will vary depending upon the number of authorized members. The larger the number, the smaller the settlement. Blah, blah, blah. Vice versa. The settlement also requires Facebook to sequester and delete all cookie data as pled in the complaint that was received or associated with class action members between 2010 and 2011, inclusive, that may be used for The deadline for exclusion and objection is September 12, 2022. Okay, and submitting a claim. And then final approval is scheduled for October 22nd. Who's eligible? Persons who, between April 22nd, 2010 and September 26, 2011, inclusive, were Facebook users in the United States who visited non-Facebook websites that is displayed the Facebook like button. Potential reward will depend on the number of authorized claimants. Proof of purchase. This is the kicker. No proof of purchase is necessary, but settlement class members should enter all usernames or URLs for Facebook accounts that use between April 22, 2010 and September 26, 2011, if possible. Entering their user names will increase the chances of the settlement. Administrator finding their accounts. If the class member cannot remember their usernames, the administrator will try to find their accounts based on the other information produced in the claim forms. So, nope, okay. So, I should probably do this now before I forget. So basically, I'm going to go ahead and autofill in my information. That is not my address anymore. Numlock 56. There we go. Let's do that. Come on. So yeah, I highly recommend signing up for this. Okay, 613-341-278. Email address. Oh, there's that one. That's for sure. Did you reside? Yes. Did you have Facebook? Yeah. Add username. Let's see. Just there's that one. Let's see. Whoops. There's that one. Yeah. Enter all usernames. Yeah, those are some of them. There's that one. There we go. Yeah, try those. And then, of course, I don't like linking it to that. I just want a good old-fashioned check. And I click the thingy, sign it, and off we go. Done. Fucking pay me. So if you want to do that, if you want to check out anything, go to topclassactionlawsuits.com, and then go through. When you go there, instead of clicking at top investigations, go right to top settlements on the top right-hand side. Let me go ahead and open that for you. Right here, top settlements. And then you'll see a list of things like Volkswagen Audi transmission defect. Audi definitely had some. And then you can click, if you've missed any that have yet to close, you can click on View All Settlements, and it will allow you to peruse anything that's currently open at this time. And there's a lot of them. So I highly recommend you do so. I'm getting a quick dental update. I am currently... I'm about 2 weeks officially from having my wisdom teeth removed. The pain went away about a week after, and I was able to stop using any like Advil or whatever. I obviously opted to not take any heavy drugs because I paid extra $200 for the Exparel, just so I wouldn't have to take any severe painkillers. I just took like some anti-inflammatories, which is like 200 milligrams of Advil. Took that for like a week. No, I only took that from Monday to Thursday, and then that was it. I was done after that. So, but the only problem I'm having right now is, well, I still have these giant holes in my head. Well, one's small and it's getting ready to close. The top ones are not an issue, but the one on my bottom left is gigantic, and it's going to take forever to close. So whenever you're eating, the shit gets just stuck in there. So they give you this like syringe, this curved syringe, and you have to take the water. I use warm water, and then I gargle with salt and stuff. And you take that warm water and you stick the syringe in the hole, and then you blast it out with warm water. And it can, when you first start doing it, it can feel weird. And then you can gargle and swish with salt water, and only swish as long as the wound is closed and it's really like the clot has really strongly formed. Otherwise, you could blow the clot out, and then you're fucked because your root will be exposed, and you'll be like, "Arr!" And you'll want to die. I've started working out a little bit again, which is going to take some time to really get back after it. So it's going to be just normal weight, nothing full blast, nothing like anything over 200 pounds at this time. But I looked forward to getting back to that. But I also don't want to break the clots, because when you're really like pushing hard, your muscles, your blood going through your body into your cheeks, it can compromise that clot or that seal, and then you're in a shitload of trouble. So I don't want to break that. Sleeping is a little bit better. I'm not face fucking my pillow yet. I look forward to sleeping with my face down soon enough, but still having to deal with that. But I am healthy enough where I actually get to go out and shoot my first piece of content, which is a second shooter at a wedding, a Jewish wedding. Imagine that. So I'll be gone literally for all day. I'll be starting my day off there at 9 o'clock Saturday morning and continuing to like probably 10 o'clock at night, making sure that I get every single shot possible. But I feel healthy enough and I got enough energy. It's like, okay, I'm plenty of weeks away from having my wisdom teeth removed that I feel healthy. I can go through the whole day without any pain. So, and it's a little hot up here in the lakes, in where I currently live. So it's gonna be interesting. But I'm gonna be packing away tonight. Also, I know you guys are coming. Some of you've been watching the market, or you're all the hoopla that's going on with gas prices and car prices and stock prices and inflation in general and the housing market. I can tell you this right now: the housing market hasn't really cooled off a little bit. Like, it's not completely gangbusters crazy, because eventually there's not going to be enough houses to fucking sell. But right now, people are still paying over asking significantly, like $25,000, $50,000, $75,000 over cost, over asking. So I mean, and by the Lakes region, like you're paying a ton of money. For example, I saw a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, like a 1,200 square foot home in this town called Stratham, which is on the other side of the highway that leads to the ocean, and it's a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom, $500,000 for a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure it's a very nice house, and it would probably be great for some family. But $500,000, with what interest rates have doubled, I think. So paying significantly more. The question is, when is that going to change? Not anytime soon. These houses up here are still highly valued by a lot of people moving from many different states. And New Hampshire, for the most part, is a pretty free state. So these prices, I don't see them coming down anytime soon. So if you're looking to sell, great. Rental prices up here are also absolutely, they're even worse. Rental prices are even worse because some people are not even, once they sell their house, they're not buying another house. They're just renting or leaving the area altogether. They're not even bothering. So they're going to rentals, which makes rentals way more expensive. So if you try to get a 2-bedroom anywhere like 20 minutes of the seacoast, you're going to pay for, or anywhere, even in the lakes region, you're paying like, a 1-bedroom is like $1,400, $1,500, $1,600, or you get a 2-bedroom, you're already looking at between $1,800 and $2,200. And it's like, how the fuck do you do that? How do people do that, or are just trying to make their way? It's absolutely nuts. I mean, I'm very fortunate because I really, really work hard to try to make it affordable for myself. But I'm just one of those people that can survive with what I need. I don't need a 2-bedroom. I don't ever ask for much. Never really did. But I can't imagine what people are trying to do right now. But I don't want to try to imagine what they're doing. I just know that housing prices are out of control. Rental prices are out of control. And gas is still around for me, it's about $4.50 a gallon because I use mid-grade. Not that I care. I'll drive my Mustang if it's $10 a gallon. I don't give a fuck. But I am noticing, like, still, even though gas prices have dropped, like, I'd say, 40, 50 cents, a gallon, this inflation shit and supply chain shortages, it's not immediately changing. Like, I went to, like, the meat departments look okay. They look fine. I know there was a formula issue. That was one issue that happened. And then all of a sudden there was a yogurt recall and a bunch of yogurts got pulled from the shelves. But I didn't necessarily see that. It was when I went to the pasta aisle because I wanted to grab two boxes of pasta because I wanted to actually have some pasta on a Saturday night. I felt like I earned it, and I wanted to try, chewing on something for once in my fucking life. It felt like forever. And I went there, and half the shelf was empty, void. And if it was weird. For me, it's like I don't care. It's like people, you don't need to eat that. You're too fucking fat as is. But I did find it interesting that something as simple as pasta just wasn't there. Now, I don't think I don't blame any of this shit on the war in Ukraine. I don't. I think that's all bullshit. I think it's a fucking flat out lie. It is. I believe it is. And there, like I've said before, that and I'll state it again, inflation and supply chain shortages are not just war related. That is a lot to do also with corporate companies jacking up their prices and blaming it on inflation, or not increasing production, and they just blame it on the supply chain shortages, and then they pocket the money. Did you know that fucking $900 million? The CEO of Moderna took I believe it was the CEO, took a $900 million bonus. He got like $2 billion from the government, and he pocketed $900 million of it. That's fucking criminal. Absolutely fucking criminal. I mean, for him, the vaccine was safe and effective. That's for goddamn sure. But it really does upset me when I see that shit in the grocery store, and just knowing that type of situation exists. Bernie Sanders was the one who actually pointed that out, and I totally agree with what he was trying to point out is like this was, but then again, he was championing this whole vaccine stuff in the begin with. And I get it, you know, we just wanted people to be healthy, but at the same time, dude, you championed this, and this is the result. So what were we doing? Giving these? No, it's like I could dive right into it as far as like the vaccine distribution, the government buying all of these units of it and then pushing it out for free. But it's like the CEO got $900 million. That tells you something's fucked. And it wasn't even the big one. It wasn't even Pfizer. It was Moderna. It was the B one. So, looking at those shelves and seeing shit missing, is it gonna get worse? It's like, how much more farmland is Bill Gates gonna buy up before shit really starts disappearing? Like, there are farmers that are supposedly like culling like 90% of their herd. Remember, you got to be able to feed these cows before you can feed the people. So, I mean, would I freak out? Do I want to be stuck at the middle of this when it's all over with just, you know, a house full of like bullets and canned goods? No, I don't. But do I feel it appropriate to stock up on a little extra meat whenever I see a good deal? Or a really good deal? Yeah, I do. I don't want to break the bank, but absolutely I got a freezer full of meat. Absolutely. I don't feel that's inappropriate in any way, shape, or form. Before we get to Q&A, I did want to... I don't know what's wrong with my Instagram feed, and take this for what you will, but it has not... I mean, it's not anything that... Well, I don't think it's anything that I'm doing, but my Instagram's gotten a little weird. Like, normally it's like bodybuilding and cars and funny stuff, and now my exploring feed has pretty much become midgets and gay porn. And I'm not sure what they're trying to tell me, if whether or not I'm gay or if I'm into banging chicks that are under 3 feet tall. Like, this is, for example, I don't know where this is one of the things that popped up in my feed. Let me actually turn this down. Let me turn this up. So this is one thing that actually popped up in my feed just today.
Man, what's your problem? What do you want?
Well, a quick blowjob would be nice.
Look, what we did that night at the party was just a mistake between 2 drunk people.
Well, I'm sure your straight roommate wouldn't want to get drunk around you.
You're just as much to blame.
All I did is let you blow me.
You did more than that.
Not.
Look, I like my roommate. We get along just fine. I don't want to have to look for a new one. What the fuck do you want?
Well, if you give me a blowjob that I need so bad, I could probably keep my mouth shut.
My roommate's right in the bathroom.
Well, make it good and quick, and then I'll blow, and then blow out of here.
Man, what's your problem?
This is my feed. And this one was even worse. This one, I mean, this one came up the other day. What the fuck is all? This one was even worse. This one really weirded me out.
Guys, we're gonna have a coffee break. You know how I like it.
What the fuck is going on with my Instagram feed? It's oh, whew. No, I know what you're thinking. Stop it. That is not, it's not the case. But I don't know how this popped up my feed, and it's getting pretty ridiculous. It's pretty fucking funny, but at the same time, I'm not into that. It's really like, I want to look at like Mustangs and like, you know, normal shit. Or like Shithead Steve or something like that. Shithead Steve is a great follow on Instagram. That one's fantastic. But that's not what I'm hoping for. I don't want to see midgets twerking, and I don't want to see buff dudes blowing each other on my Instagram feed. Please, Instagram, please help me out. I really, really appreciate it. We are at 33 minutes. Enough with the gay shit. Let's move on to... Oh, boy. Let's move on to some dig.com Q&A, and then we'll go ahead and close up shop for this very, very interesting week. I'm actually going to try to, if I haven't already stated this, I'm actually going to try to do a quick podcast while I'm doing time lapses over at the Vineyard for this weekend's wedding. Hopefully that, I want to get a chance to do, I think that would be a cool little Sunday leftovers or whenever I get a chance to release that. So I think that would be really, really fun. In the meantime, you can support this podcast by going to positivesarcasm.com/donate. Any amount is appreciated. Let's go ahead and do a full Q&A to close up shop this week. Guys, if you want to follow along on the screen, feel free to do so. Did I deserve a write-up at work for informing my coworker that chocolate milk does not come from brown cows? So about 2 weeks ago, me and another coworker was talking about the topic of chocolate milk, and well, she's one of the 10% of Americans that believe that chocolate milk comes from brown cows. I admitted I guffawed a bit, to which she took offense to. But I ended up apologizing because telling her that I thought she was a bit silly and told her that chocolate milk is actually just regular milk with chocolate syrup, to which she got defensive and said that she didn't believe me. So I asked her if she can show if I can show her proof and that she was wrong, and she dared me to do so. So I bought regular milk and chocolate syrup from a nearby store during my lunch, mix it up, and give it to her to drink. She ended up drinking with it and just left in a huff. Apparently just told her shift manager that she was leaving for the day because she felt attacked by me and demands she needed a mental health day, to which the shift manager didn't approve of, but she left anyway, so whatever. But apparently this whole thing got everyone else's attention because my coworker made such a big scene about it that it apparently attracted enough attention that my store manager had to personally call me to his office yesterday and tell me what happened that day. I didn't know at the time, but I was really offended at my poor coworker of mine so much that she told my store manager about how she couldn't work with me anymore, and that she even reported me to HR for discriminating against her beliefs. Oh, she prays to the brown cow god. And that I apparently caused enough mental damage that she couldn't even go back to work due to how much I humiliated her. Over chocolate milk. Well, you're a fucking idiot if you believe chocolate milk comes from chocolate cows. My store manager even wrote me up and warned me that the next time I acted in such an offensive manner like that, I would be fired. I mean, I'm already quitting and starting a new job anyways, but I worry about whether or not I'm actually the asshole for this, and I should be more careful about my next job. Okay. Look, all I know is that fucking Five Guys is hiring at $18 an hour near where I am. So free food, free good food, and okay money, I would easily quit. I mean, right now it's in your favor to leave your job anyways, so who gives a fuck? You're not the asshole in this scenario. Were you a bit... Well, first of all, talking to your coworkers. In a corporate office or in a retail office or a restaurant or a retail setting. So a corporate office, retail setting, or a restaurant setting, I probably wouldn't even talk to my coworkers. Actually, in a restaurant, that'd be pretty cool because usually a lot of hot people work at restaurants. Retail, I wouldn't even. But you're not... No, you weren't... I mean, you weren't wrong. Technically, you weren't wrong. This was an actual scientific fact. Like, chocolate milk is made with cocoa and syrup, and that's all that sugar. It doesn't come from a cow's tit. It's not chocolate cows. It's a fucking... Yeah. So you were right. This person's a fucking idiot. And you know what? There's a lot of weaklings out there, and, you know, maybe she should jump off a bridge. Anyways, moving on to the next story. Should I try to get a restraining order against the teenage daughter I abandoned into a foster system as a young child? I was in an abusive relationship with my ex-wife. When I was finally able to get the help to leave safely and build a case against my ex, our child had to go into foster care. It took me years and the support of incredible people to rebuild my life. But I'm proud to say I am recovering. Well, good for you. I have a good job, financial security, have remarried an amazing woman, and started a family. We couldn't ask for a better life. However, the child who had to go into foster care from the abusive first marriage just aged out of the system and therefore was able to find me. I'm doing much better than I thought possible back then, but a lot can still trigger me. I struggle with guilt about being abused and being made to feel that things are my fault when they aren't. This young woman has not done the work I have and is replaying patterns from years ago. Okay. And is invading and her invading my family feels like I have my abusive ex back. She will not take polite or requests to leave us alone and shows up at our house with no warning, seemingly only to talk about problems from years ago just to get a rise out of us. She even told our kids, who are 5 and 9, that I am not to be trusted and to watch out for signs that I'll only abandon them. She seems to blame me for the abuse my ex committed, and only scoffed when I tried to kindly point out that she was perpetuating the myths about men. being abused. My kids are stressed about these violent and false accusations that I'll abandon them, but I can't see a way of getting rid of her short of getting a restraining order. She won't leave us alone or stop coming back, no matter how politely or angrily we tell her to. I can't tell her if my past abuse is preventing me from recognizing that I have to take action against her. Is there a less extreme way to protect my family, or has she already brought us to the point of legal intervention? Well, look. If you wanted to welcome this person back into the family, that's one thing, but it would have to be on strict grounds that you can't be ruining the current family I have. It is tragic, and I can't really... I don't understand that situation, understanding abandonment or having to put him to foster care. You did what you could, and it was a tragic situation that just completely fell apart, and your ex did nothing to help this kid out either. So it's both of yours fault. However, a tragic situation should never be turned into hell. So there's no reason why this person should come into this situation and be trying to wreck something that's actually working. She cannot forgive you. She can curse you, but she can't come into this family and traumatize you. Can't come here and traumatize your fucking kids, your new kids at least. That's it. No, that's borderline harassment. Well, that is harassment, actually. And at that point, yes, you should get a lawyer and you should contact the police and you should file for a restraining order. And you absolutely need to do whatever you can to protect your family until something can be resolved, or just basically cut it down the middle and be like, you're done. Don't ever come over here again. You're harassing us. You're making things. What you're doing is borderline illegal. So, should you have cared for her? Yeah, you should have, but I can't. What you did to her can't be passed on to your current kids. Not in any capacity. They don't need to have that abandonment feel. That can't happen to them. They should be made to feel even though the other one, the abandoned child, the foster child, wasn't necessarily loved. That's no excuse. There's no reason why the new kid should be made to feel abandoned. 3 wrongs don't make a right. So, this person absolutely needs to back off. Let's move on to the next article. Or next question, excuse me. How should I treat my son's girlfriend after she dog-napped our dogs and abandoned them in the wilderness? I would shoot her in the fucking head. My husband and I have inherited 4 dogs from relatives. I was out of state for a month. My husband was home when 2 of them were dog-napped, driven 42 miles away and abandoned in the wilderness. I suspected who had done it right away, but when I heard where the dogs had been abandoned, I knew without a doubt we were lucky. 1 dog was microchipped, which eventually led him back to us. Both were cared for by the rescue foundations until I could bring them home. The person who did it is our son's girlfriend and the mother of his child. We were appalled and feel betrayed and sickened. My son admitted he knew she had done it. He showed remorse and gave a heartfelt apology. She has completely avoided us with no admission or apology. Should we press charges for stealing our dogs and abandoning them? They live on our property in a home we own and pay nothing to live here. She and I used to be close. Now our husband no longer run ever around. Our all trust is gone. Please advise us. Yes. Yes. Well, okay. Kidnapped your dogs. Put them in a compromising situation. They need to be she needs to be thrown out. She needs to go. Whether he goes with her or not, she needs to be put on notice and gone. Ever. Not allowed to come back to the premises. And yes, you need to press charges. This behavior is unacceptable. If this was me and I found that this would happen, the law would not even be included in this scenario. That person would be driven out to the woods and buried. Absolutely not. I don't negotiate in this scenario. You put my dog's life on the line, you're over. Absolutely. There's nobody at this point who I would defend would not defend with my life chases. Period. So for her to do that with 2 of your dogs and just send them out there for whatever the fucking reason is unacceptable. She needs to be arrested. She needs to be charged. You need to testify. And she needs to get off the property and never come back. That's it. It needs to be laid down. Let's move on to the next one. That one was pretty straightforward. Was I wrong to throw out my fiance's belongings without asking? I'm a minimalist. Having too much stuff in the house just drives me crazy. I'm a successful interior decorator with a social media following. My fiance Mervin is a pack rat. He's an artist and an art teacher and collects things for his art. This was fine when he was able to keep it in his studio. But we have downsized to save for a home purchase next year. Home is also necessarily where I shoot a lot of my videos for work and social media, so most of his things like old sketchbooks and decorative items are in the storage area. In preparation for the move, I began throwing out or donating some things, his mismatched dishes, jars, seed pods, bottle caps, so on and so forth. When Mervin discovered this, he was distraught. He said I make him feel like he has no place in my life. I'm sorry I hurt him, but I don't want him to be overwhelmed with clutter. And we were always able to go get more rocks, maple helicopters, or beach sand. I talked to a friend about this, and she said clutter comes with the territory of dating an artist. We wouldn't be able to be looking at a home purchase without my income, and I need a neat house to help maintain that. I love Mervin and his creativity, but his belief that every bit of trash has art potential sometimes drives me up the wall. I'm not exaggerating. If photographs, garbage on our walks, was I wrong? Should I be more tolerant? You need to apologize. You threw somebody's shit out without asking, and you voluntarily love this. You voluntarily date this person. So you have to have full communication with them. Hey, I'm going to throw out your shit. Have that argument. Have that battle. Figure it out. That's what a good relationship would be. You know, have that thought process. Have that explanation. It's like, yeah, I'm also paying the fucking bills in this new house. So make a decision or be more tidy. That's kind of the gist of the situation here. But just to throw shit out, no. You need to explain to these. You need to explain to them. This is your thought process. You can't just do it without asking. Let's move on to the next one. Can I invite my minor nieces to my baby shower, but not their mother? After many years, prayers, and medical interventions, I am pregnant, and, along with my family and friends, looking forward to a celebratory baby shower. Congratulations. My issue is whether I must invite a narcissistic sister-in-law. It seems appropriate to only invite her daughters, ages 10 and 14. Over the years, my relationship with my sister-in-law has deteriorated to the point that she refuses to speak to me, and we have separate family holidays. I would never invite this person to any event, but her daughters and I maintain a loving relationship. From your perspective, is it appropriate to address the invitation to my nieces only? I would really miss their presence, but cannot stand the thought of their mother attending. Well, why does she not speak to you? Is it she just hates your guts, or, I mean, would she even want to show up? Or, I mean, but at the end of the day, it's your shower. Invite whomever you want. Really, it's your party. If it's your wedding, it's your funeral. You decide who goes. So at the end of the day, if you don't want a certain person there, then don't invite them. I don't give a fuck. If you guys just don't want to speak to each other, then okay, then stamp it in. You know, put a stamp on it and mail it in. Invite the kids. I don't have a problem with it. I don't really at all. If she's pissed and still refuses to speak to you, then well, there you go. All right, let's do one more. Ooh, this one's a good one. Are today's young adults slower intellectually than the generation before them? I own and run a small company where I have a history of difficulty getting product. My food company requires some fresh product and some I can store. I hire young people to communicate the system to our clients. They are not the sharpest tacks in the box. They are not comfortable telling clients we are having to wait for a product, even though we know we will receive the product in the near future. Some of these new customer relations employees, I think I want them to lie to the clients. I do not. I want them to develop the verbal skills to talk to the clients. They are supposed to build confidence through knowing we've always received the product. How else could I stay in the business for 30 years? It seems the new young people don't understand schmoozing clients, and I don't know how to explain it to them. I don't know if they are intelligent enough to understand what it means to build confidence and to trust the system. We use fresh ingredients for some things and can store other products. It upsets the employees not knowing a date as to when products will be delivered. Am I hiring employees below their skill level, or does this ability to talk to clients run through a younger generation? It's actually, I think it's a mixture of both, but let's keep going. I hire inexperienced young people because they are not worth much when they have no work experience or verbal sophistication. I teach my new employees from scratch how to talk to clients, how to explain the benefit of using fresh ingredients that keep things fresh, means we will not have everything all the time. They look at this as lying, which it's not. Though many years in the business, I think this concept should be common sense. I should be. I say, if certain ingredients must be fresh, that means we cannot stock up on them. The only thing I can deduce is that today's young adults are slower intellectually than the generation before them. I hate to think... let's see. I think this concept should be common sense. Should be certain ingredients must be fresh, means we can't stock up. The only thing I can deduce is today. I hate to think that, but I can't think of what else that could cause this inability to connect the dots. These concepts are not difficult to understand, so you can see my concern for the future. Well, look, I think we all say the next generation is dumber and lazier and softer, but the truth is they are. They are definitely softer. Are they softer in the brain? It's entirely possible. However, also with the hiring employees right now, like, you have to pay a lot of money for employees because people just don't want to freaking work. So the quality of candidates that you're getting is going to be far less. So the question, is it a generalization? Yeah, but there's a lot of truth to what you're thinking. But if you want good, look, a kid can still have good character. So do your best and try to shed out some coin to at least hire some better candidates. But I think that's kind of the dilemma you're gonna have to deal with for now. But as far as lying to clients or lying to customers, it's not something that is enjoyable. It's not something I like doing, and that's why I don't do it. I think you're hiring the wrong people. I think you need to try and hire some other people. And look, if you don't want them lying to your clients, don't fucking hire them. Don't. And you need to lay that down. Be like, this is never the answer. We don't do this. This is not how we practice here. So that's what I would go with. You don't want your employees lying to clients. You don't. If that's your goal, we tell the truth here. Period. Point blank. Okay. And that's that. If you catch them lying to clients, you need to warn them. Don't do this again, or I'll terminate you. That's it. Don't lie to clients. We are at 50 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and close up shop for this week. Maybe I'll get a chance to do another podcast, like a quick one, if I get a chance by in the actual vineyard early Saturday morning. We'll see. I'm getting back to the pattern I had by the New Hampshire's beautiful seacoast on the southern side with the music reactions, the podcast, everything like that. So I'm working on it. And now that I got my teeth, everything's out. Not my teeth. And now that I got my teeth ripped out in the back and they're healing, I feel a lot better to just sit down here and bang out a podcast. So you can find me on Instagram, Wisdom, Facebook, Minds, Gab. Go ahead, hit me up there. Just look for Positive Sarcasm. Email me directly, positivesarcasm@outlook.com, or you can contact me directly through my website, Posing Music for Bodybuilding. Movie reviews, by the way, I saw Top Gun Maverick. It was awesome. It was everything I wanted it to be. I saw Dune, the new Dune reboot. Interesting, but not. I didn't love it. I thought it was okay. It was interesting, but that's about it. And I saw Dave Chappelle's special, which I thought was really, really good. So find me on social medias. Email me directly. Support the podcast, positivesarcasm.com/donate. Any amounts appreciated. And I guess we'll go from there. So in the meantime, thank you for listening, watching, and subscribing. And I'll talk to you all in the next podcast. Recorded here from the Spare Parts Studio. This has been a Positive Sarcasm presentation.